Fight!
Burks and the foul. He does it again. And he's got his fourth straight 20-point game. Beal inside the lane, threw it behind him. Here comes Barrett. One man to beat. It's Beal. Barrett inside. He's fouled and one. R.J. Barrett with a chance for a three-point play. Burks finds Randall. Randall in the corner. Harris all over him. Randall step back three, puts it up. Shot. It's good. It's good. Randall gets the bounce and he ties the game with 5.1 remaining.
Yeah, what up? My fellow Knicks fans, this is your guy Marcellus Ease, and we got a lot on the docket for tonight. Man, oh man, phone lines are open. The link is in the description. A lot is going on. Eastern Conference switching up. Man, we even got Chicago making moves. They're making boss moves. They're finally sick of just keep drafting first-round picks and just being confused. I mean, we even got the Boston Celtics moving down the standings. The Eastern Conference is switching up. We got other players on our own squad like Alec Burks stepping up. And one of the issues that we're going to go over tonight is down the clutch. Should we refer to guys like Alec Burks? Because he's making moves the past couple of games. And also on the docket tonight, we'll talk about did the Knicks fumble with the Andre Drummond situation. I mean, what's going on with that? The Knicks they basically had the advantage of signing Andre Drummond because we had basically the cap room to give him a max deal offer, 4 years, $64 million. And the Lakers and the Brooklyn Nets were not able to give him that offer, but we could offer it. And for us to not come to an agreement with him somehow, even after Mitchell going down, it's kind of, questionable. They got to kind of go over what's going on with that, because right now we're really going to need a center. It's very unfortunate, but it's looking like Mitch is going to be out. But that Andre Drummond situation, the Knicks were in the driver's seat with that, because we have yet to still see a max player, well, I would say a former max player like Blake Griffin, Josh Smith, and others who got bought out by their, respective teams come back and get a max deal after accepting a minimum contract. So as of today, it looks like Andre Drummond will accept a minimum contract with the Lakers, but we have yet to see those guys actually go on and to get another max deal. I mean, you could even look at DeMarcus Cousins. Even though he deals with injury situations, we still have yet to see one of these players that earned a max contract before get bought out and then go back into the market accepting a minimum contract and then getting another max extension. And keep in mind, Andre Drummond, he is a young player. It's not like he's an old vet. He has plenty of time to, remain in the league. And the fact that he's accepting that minimum contract, it's very iffy, because there is no evidence right now to ever say, hey, players who accept minimum contracts have gotten back to somewhat close to their old value. So did the Knicks actually fumble the Andre Drummond signing, especially after Mitch Rob has been going down? Maybe perhaps the Knicks it was unexpected of Mitch going down, and they really need a center right now. We're going to rely on guys like Noel's Lowell. But once again, the phone lines are open, and pretty much some of the things on the docket for tonight. Should the Knicks rely on guys like Alec Burks down the stretch? And also, with the changing Eastern Conference landscape, the Bulls making moves, the Toronto Raptors not making moves, the Boston Celtics kind of making questionable moves, but they're relying on Tristan Thompson. But did the Knicks, well, I should not say did the Knicks, but did enough happen where the Knicks could continue making their playoff push, or are other teams on the come up? And perhaps maybe by the end of the month, because we do have the 5th toughest schedule, could things shake up enough where we could actually get in? So once again, phone lines are open. You guys let me know what's on your mind, man.
A lot of thoughts on the mind, man. Let's speak, though.
What's good, man? This is Marcellus Ease, man. Yo, what's your name and where you from?
This is Chef NYK. I'm in South Florida right now, originally Strong Island.
All right,
How's it going,
yeah.
bro?
What's up, Chef, man? Yeah, I remember you, man. What's good, man? How's everything with you?
What's good, man? Yeah, doing good, man.
Yeah, got a
Chilling,
few
man.
things on the docket tonight, man. Where you want to start off, man? You want to start off with the Knicks in the clutch? What is their identity? We got Alex Burks. Should they start referring to him? Or you want to talk about the Eastern Conference landscape after this trade deadline? Or the Andre Drummond signing? Which one you want to go first? It's on you.
What you thinking? All right,
A lot of thoughts on the mind, man.
All right, let's go with Alec Burks, man. Yeah, during the crunch time, man, like the Knicks right now, sometimes in the clutch time, Julius Randle's kind of like not sure what to do, or RJ. Sometimes I'm not sure if they haven't had enough reps. Should, Tips sort of started to design plays to sort of deviate, and create maybe a second or third option, starting with guys like Alec Burks if he's open at the, in the lane or at a 3-point shot. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I think he's definitely going to Burks a lot more. I'll be honest, man. For a while, I wasn't the biggest fan of Burks. It's not because he can't score. He's always had the scoring. I just felt like he wasn't really looking to be a playmaker. But we got to give it up. I got to give it up to him. I mean, the guy's been clutch lately. I don't know how many 20-point games he has. Still like he had at least 4 games.
Nah, yeah, I believe it's 5 in a row.
Points.
5 in a row.
Yeah, like 5 in a row. I mean, very clutch. I mean, some of those games you could say, I wouldn't give the whole win to him, but it's a big part of those wins. And he's becoming more of a playmaker. Like I said, that was my only issue with him. I was like, man, he's never really just scoring right now. So yeah, I'd like to see Tibbs, incorporate him more. I mean, he seems like he's been getting a lot of time lately, but look to get him in the plays more. I like what Randall's doing. I mean, obviously we gotta love what Randall's doing, and I've always been a big RJ fan, way before we drafted him. I was kind of shocked. I didn't even think we'd be able to draft him, but we did that year.
Yeah, I think Randall's 3-point shot, man, it's definitely opening up for everyone else. Randall stretching the floor with that 3-point shooting, man. It's really clutch.
Yeah. I mean, who would have thought? I mean, I'm not gonna say if anyone says they thought he was gonna be that good, but I definitely think most people kind of had him on the trading block. I mean, he just had a difficult year last year, but I mean, that's the past. We'll leave that in the past. But I mean, this year's been a stellar year, and he seems like he's only getting better. And like you said, the 3-point shot's getting better. His teammates love him. He's a leader. So I mean, but with Burks, I feel like the thing with Burks, like you're saying, he makes a quick decision. It doesn't take him time to make that 3. He doesn't have to dribble too much. I just say that RJ and Randall dribble too much, but sometimes they got to get to their spot. Whereas Burks, he'll just throw that thing up.
Yeah, and then also you look at the game in Philly, man. The game in Philly, Burks, man, wasn't afraid of the big moment. He was attacking the rim. He's taking his shots. I mean, Burks seems like he's just not scared of that moment. And also, I don't know what's the situation with him and Bullock. Sometimes I see Bullock gets most of the start. I'm not sure if Tibbs mixes both of them. Or if he uses Burks as like RJ's substitute off the bench. I'm not sure what's going on with that, but I'm hoping Burks could fit him in there to get more minutes.
Yeah, I think right now, Tibbs is gonna go a lot more with Burks. I just feel like he gets when I say Tibbs, Coach Tibbs gets a little comfortable. Obviously same thing with Alfred Payton. But it just looks like it's starting to go towards more of a Derrick Rose and Burks type of thing. Feel like Bullock's still going to get his spot, and he's been getting better too. I feel like watching him this season, he's putting up more shots have been falling. But I feel like what Burks has been doing, like you said, the last 5 games, 20+ points, he's only going to get more time. So I feel like, Tibbs, he's got his ways and he's stuck in his ways, but I think it's obvious, playing Burks more.
Wait, hold up. I'm not sure if he's gonna get more time because right now Rose just got inserted back into that lineup. So I'm curious to see how that's gonna play out. With Rose back in there, I'm not sure if if Burks will be getting more minutes there. And even that may even cut into Quickly's time.
Yeah. I hear what you're saying, but I just feel like the way Burks has been producing points wise, maybe stay around the same minutes he is right now, but I feel like it's gonna open up the door. It's gonna open up the door for him to get some more time. But I hear you with Rose back. I mean, he's obviously gonna have significant minutes again. And he didn't look rusty either. That's another thing about Rose. I mean, he came in. I think. I mean, I'm not sure how many minutes he played last night, but he didn't look tired. He didn't look rusty. Put up his points. He had a couple plays where I was like, man, costly turnovers at the end. But again, you got to give that to being out. What was he out, like 2 weeks? Plus,
yeah, I think he had the virus, man. He got caught the virus. He said it was bad. He said the rest of his family was catching it too off of him.
Yeah. He said even his family, his kids. So that was kind of crazy. Because we were all, I know I'm sure you were wondering. That was a talking, Knicks Nation. Everyone's like, what's going on with him? I think some people even said, is he having some issues like he did before? But he was sick the whole time. That's crazy.
Yeah.
He actually caught that, and he's able. Well, the good thing is, he's healthy and was able to come back. But it was really good to see him be able to play all those minutes and not look rusty at all. Like I said, the end, but you gotta give him that. Yeah, I'll be honest. When I watched the game, I was like, come on, man. You basically give the ball away. I forgot that play, but I felt like he almost passed the ball. It was a weird turn of being out so long, but it was good to see him be able to play that amount of minutes.
Yeah, I mean the only tricky thing is Tibbs balancing that lineup, because right now, that's one of the reasons why Austin Rivers kind of had to go, because it's like, how the hell Tibbs is managing all these guards? You got to get quickly some minutes. You got Burks playing well now. It's a tricky thing. Rose coming back into the lineup is like, how is he going to be managing all these minutes? And even though Burke has been busting ass and killing the past 5 games, it's not even guaranteed that's going to continue happening, because he may not end up getting the minutes. Or if Burks is playing a lot, that's going to hurt Quickly. Quickly's minutes are definitely going to have to come down. And then he keeps throwing Alfred Payton in there. I know it's pissing the Knicks fans off, but fuck, man, throwing Alfred Payton in there, it's just another monkey wrench into that situation.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't make more moves, but I'm sure they were thinking about the health reasons, and as much as Payton could be a pain to see him on the court. I mean, the shooting is horrendous, but he plays that defense, and he gets to the hoop, so and I feel like he's just somebody that Thibodeau trusts. So, but I feel like if anyone's gonna lose some minutes, and it's looking kind of like it's been like that lately, it looks like Payton. And Payton's been losing definitely more minutes than he had early in the season. Quickly, I'm not too worried about Quickly, because all year, and even when he was in Kentucky, you give Quickly like 13, 15 minutes, he'll give you like 14, 15 points. So it's not like he needs volume when it comes to, it's good to see him out there, but it's not like he needs that volume.
Now wait. Which one are you feeling, the Quickly Rose combination lineup, or do you rather have Quickly on the floor by himself without Rose? Like, how do you feel about that lineup?
Yeah, I like that combination. Early when it obviously was on. Well, what do we have those? Maybe like 2 weeks now or so. I don't even know if it's been a month we had him on the team. What was I gonna say? When they first started together, I thought it was really, really good. But seeing Quickly play with Burks, seeing different combinations, I do like it. But I'd probably say him and Rose definitely have chemistry. Him and Rose definitely have a good chemistry on the court.
Definitely. Yo, so let me get your thoughts on the Andre Drummond situation, man, because the situation here is that the Knicks actually were in the driver's seat for that Andre Drummond signing, especially after Mitch has gone down. We actually had the cap space to actually give him kind of an extension, at least 4 years, $64 million. The Brooklyn Nets and the Lakers could not do that at all. They could only give him a minimal contract, but yet he still went off with these teams. And the reason why I'm questioning that is because we have yet to see a max contract guy that got bought out. accept a minimal contract and then get back to somewhere near that value of that max contract. And Andre Drummond is very young, so what do you think about him just going off with another team? Do you think we fumbled this bag right now?
Yeah, I wouldn't say we fumbled it. I felt like the front office was kind of mixed on him. You know, I feel like some people in the front office. I mean, I can't say names. I did hear what's his name, Brock Alder from Cleveland. He was a big fan of Drummond. But I just felt like you had some front office people that were thinking, all right, you know, this guy's going to give us rebounds. He's a high volume player. He's going to fit in. And then I feel like the rest of the front office was kind of like he might not fit in. He might cause problems with the chemistry. Because that's the thing. I think fans aren't looking at right now. I mean, you could say what you want about. I think a lot of fans are. I don't see how you can't see this team as have talent now. But you know, I'm not gonna. I see people see things differently, so I'm not gonna argue it. But I don't think the one thing nobody can argue is the chemistry. I feel like a lot of fans think that's just something that happens on any team. I mean, even some of these great teams you have right now, or top-level teams in the NBA, they don't seem to have the same camaraderie and chemistry that the Knicks have as a team. So I think the front office kind of factored that in, you know, like, all right, Drummond's a good guy, you know, but throwing him on this team, does that change the dynamic? You know, is he going to, not to say that the guys will be fighting or something or not get along, but is it going to mess up that chemistry?
Yeah, and also, do you think they were caught off guard? I mean, maybe they got caught off guard with the Mitchell Robinson injury. Maybe they just thought like, okay, Mitch is back off of that hand injury. We're good. We don't really need a center. And then he went down last night, and then they're scrambling this morning to try to make a move, but maybe the Lakers already just deep in talks with him. I mean, do you think the Mitchell Robinson situation might have basically is the reason why we probably didn't even go after him? We thought we was good until last night.
Yeah, I think if you look at the Mitch situation, I mean, he definitely came back and was looking really, you know, he had that one game. I felt like he could have had 20 points. I think it was like 16 points. I think he had a double-double that game. So he came back looking really good. I think it's obvious Tibbs is a big fan, you know, so I'm not so sure how Leon Rose feels about him, but the fact that Tibbs is a big fan, I think, you know, the front office values him. So I think if we didn't have Noel and Gibson, you know, it would be a little different. But the fact that, you know, people say Gibson's a forward, but to me, he's been doing well at the center.
It depends on the matchup, though. It depends on the matchup.
Yeah. Sometimes he does get hurt. Yeah. Sometimes he does not hurt. Sometimes he does get taken advantage of in the low post. But I feel like, yeah, like you said, they're kind of looking at it like, all right, you got Mitch, you got Noel, you got Gibson. You know, like, do you really need to go and get a center? You know what I mean? So. But obviously, with that injury now, it's like, you know, he kind of, they're kind of forced to make a move. You know, hopefully we can get somebody that could, you know, not like we need somebody to give us a lot of minutes, but somebody that's at least serviceable, and then see how bad this injury is. I mean, really, I haven't, I don't know if you have, but I haven't gotten too much information about it as far as the timeline. So
yeah, I mean, we'll most likely see tomorrow morning.
You know?
Most likely tomorrow morning we'll find out. But I mean, just once again with Drummond, you know, I'm just surprised. Like, you know, there hasn't been more of a push, or we're not hearing more information about us, especially after last night going after him. Because once again, Andre Drummond's in that situation that Blake Griffin, you know, DeMarcus Cousins, Josh Smith is in, where, you know, you get bought out, but then once you accept that minimal contract, you become that forever. It seems like the GMs in the NBA, once they see a player sign for that little money, they, no matter how talented he is, they'll never offer him anywhere near max contract ever again. It just seems like, you know, you kind of get pigeonholed in the league like that. It's weird.
It is true. Like, I'm kind of, like you said, like, him taking that contract, I don't know if it's more of like a Lakers thing. Like, all right, you know, people are going to see him on the Lakers. You know, obviously, he might be able to get that chip this year.
Or it might be something back. It might be a backdoor deal. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, you never know what their conversation was. They might be like, "Hey, we want you in this year, And then they talked to him and his agent. Look, this is all we could do right now. But in the summer, I don't know how that would work, if that's on paper or if that's just like a conversation. But that could have been something as well. And he could be looking at it like he's gonna be on a team like the Lakers. Even though I'm sure everyone's gonna be like, oh, he's doing that good with LeBron, but still, he gets to showcase himself. So you might be thinking about that. All right, other teams are gonna see him. Obviously, he didn't have a lot, because it's weird, like you said, he was just on the Pistons. I felt like he was the franchise for the Pistons. They were holding on to him for a while. He was
but the Pistons are all over the place, man. They're all over the place.
Yeah.
But wait, let me ask you a question here. With the trade deadline just, coming and going, and now all the bought out players, we're hearing LaMarcus Aldridge is joining Brooklyn. Like, how do you feel about this Eastern Conference landscape? Do you think the Knicks did enough to secure at least a playoff push? Because we see teams like Chicago, make moves. They went out and got Vucevic. We've seen the Miami Heat get Trevor Ariza and Victor Oladipo. They're making their run. But then again, we also seen teams remain stagnant, like the Boston Celtics. They got rid of their center. They're kind of relying on Tristan Kardashian, and the Chicago Bulls. I mean, not the Chicago Bulls, but also the Atlanta Hawks. They got rid of what's his name, Rondo. So I'm not sure if even the Hawks even got better. They're kind of slowly going down. The same thing for the Raptors. Kyle Lowry. They kind of had an opportunity to get some pieces for him, but they actually kept them, and they got rid of Norman Powell. So how do you feel about the Eastern Conference landscape right now?
Yeah, I think it's a big shakeup. I mean, obviously, you got us doing a lot better than a lot of teams. A lot of people thought we would in Charlotte, and then obviously you got the big three top teams. You got the Sixers. You got the Bucks. And then with Toronto and stuff, I feel like a lot of those teams. I think that he's gonna move up. But when you look at Toronto, I feel like they're I wouldn't say they're tanking, but they're looking on to next year. Toronto.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Year. I think the Celtics want to be better, but they're looking on to
No, the Celtics, to me, they're in a rebuilding mode. They just don't know it. They just don't know it.
Yeah.
They're in a rebuilding mode. They just don't know it yet.
Coach either, I mean, it'd be crazy you think Brad Stevens, but they might shake up that coaching situation too. So I just feel like the Knicks are in a real good place because, if you look at it, we kind of match up good with some of the top teams. Even the Nets right now. I hate to say, nobody wants to say it, but I mean the Nets are looking crazy right now. You know what I mean? It's just that team's stacked. But at the same time, are they a playoff? How well are they going to do in the playoffs? I mean, it would seem like they would dominate. Mm-hmm. But I think if we could get in a position where we don't play a team like the Nets or the Sixers at least to like the second round.
Nah, I would love to play the Nets right away. I mean, all the pressure would be on the Nets. There would be no pressure on the Knicks, and every game will be a home game. Yeah. There'll be no pressure on the Knicks.
That's true.
I'm surgical with this bitch.
But yeah, we got to see how it is. But the landscape right now, to me, I feel like you got those top three teams. I'm hoping we could stay in this fourth or fifth. I don't want to do a play-in, man. I feel like the play-in situation is just it's a weird situation. So
yeah,
if we
but
get out of that, we're legitimately in the playoffs. I think that's going to do a lot for free agents. That's going to do a lot for our current players just to be in a playoff situation. You look at a guy like Randall and Burks. I mean, you never know. Like, I try to tell people, they're like, oh, it's the playoffs. The Knicks are going to only go so far. But once you get in those playoffs, you never really know. I mean, I ain't going to sit here and say we're going to make a championship run, but you just never know. And
especially this season with no fans.
Yeah.
I mean, little fans. It's almost like they're playing in the gym.
Yeah. I'm not sure how that's going to open up come playoff time. I mean, I'm sure it's definitely not going to be capacity, but they might extend the amount of fans in certain arenas. But we'll see how that plays out. Mm-hmm. But I just feel like it's a good, like, this year couldn't have been better for us. We just keep on doing what we're doing. Obviously win the games we're supposed to win. Try to steal some games. I mean, the thing is, the Knicks have been in pretty much all our games this year. There's kind of like a handful of games where we just, came out flat, and didn't do
Yeah, especially in that first quarter, we
So-
tend to come out flat against like lesser teams. I feel like sometimes the Knicks downplay some teams. Like if they know they're not as good, they don't put in a lot of effort when the game starts, and then they sort of find themselves having to come back. Like last night is a perfect example. They were playing against, like fucking Giannis's little brother. They let him drop all those
I don't
points,
know.
man.
That was crazy.
Yeah, what the fuck was that? That was like some wild
was
2K
crazy.
street game.
Yeah, that was crazy him scoring that much. But like I tell, I've coached here and there, like some youth teams and especially the younger kids. I'm like, you can't give anybody, like when you're on the basketball court, you just can't give anybody that light, that path to start scoring, because you never know. You know what I mean? So I think they just gave him too many open shots, and then he just got to the point where he got so confident, that he just started, And then, nothing against, I want to see Obi do his thing, but, a couple of those plays Obi was guarding him, and it was just like, it was bad. It was like,
But how do you feel about the Chicago
Yeah,
Bulls? Like the Chicago Bulls actually finally having some nuts and actually trying to go after guys instead of drafting a freaking lottery pick in every position and still be confused.
Yeah, I mean, that was a good move to get Vujicic. That was a good move. I mean, they did try that 1 year with Otto Porter. I just think they thought he was going to be a lot better than he was. But yeah, to have all these draft picks, you got a guy like Levine, you got some players on that team. You think they try to do something different, especially in a big market like Chicago. So, but I just don't know with that team. I still feel like they're all over the place. I mean, we'll definitely see in these couple games if they make a push, but I don't know if that's gonna make them significantly better. We'll see.
I mean, but then again, they do have a dynamic wing player and a pretty good center, man. That's very well polished. I mean, Vucevic, I believe, has 2 years left on his current deal.
Yeah, they're gonna have him long term. I'm sure they're gonna look to sign him, for the future. So yeah, the Bulls are gonna be a team to watch out for. I'm not gonna sleep on them. I just don't know how good they're gonna be right away.
Yeah, I mean the NBA definitely needs a good East Coast rivalry, man. I mean, I'm hoping the Bulls and the Knicks could come up, so we could start to see these TNT games have some snow in the arenas and some physical basketball. It's too much sunshine and finesse ball, man. That's going on around the league, and I think that's one of the main issues with the image of the Nets. They're sort of this West Coast team that's in Brooklyn. Like the way they play, it's just very finesse. It's very West Coast.
Yeah, they don't play any defense. I mean, obviously scoring. I mean, the scoring's out of control, but they don't have that hard nose like they used to say in the day, like lunch pail, like blue collar type team.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're getting back to that, which is really good. I mean, to see our defense just like, even in that Sixers game, I think there was a point in that Sixers game, we went on like a 12-0 or 13-0 run. It's like, like they couldn't even, I know they didn't have Embiid, but we basically just shut them down. It's crazy how the Knicks, they got times where I'm like, man, what are they doing on defense? When they really lock in, it's just kind of crazy, how good they are on defense when they really want to lock in. So, hopefully that could continue, and that could be more of, you're going to have lapses on defense, but hopefully that could be more of like a 48-minute game,
Yeah, for sure.
Where they're doing it. But it's fun to see, like I've always liked the running gun, I always liked kind of, I wouldn't say 7 seconds or less, but I like the offense. We just run,
yeah, I mean, overall, this year's playoff push is going to be insane. It's definitely going to be insane. Like it's going to be very close knit, very tight all the way down the stretch. But the Knicks do have the 5th toughest schedule as far as opponents. We got the Lakers twice. We got Philly a couple of times. I mean, we already played the Bucks twice. I mean, it's going to be a gauntlet down, all the way down to the very end, and especially after this deadline, with Chicago actually getting another play to put aside, Levine. I mean, things are going to be very interesting. I mean, even the Celtics, they're going down the standings, but they're still going to be in the middle of that pack to get in.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I feel like it's a close-knit race, but as I was saying before, if the Knicks could just stay on their track, win these games. I wouldn't say steal some games because it seems like I said before, their mentality right now, I haven't really seen them go against a top team and look like they were scared or look like they were worried. So that's another thing with Tibbs. It seems like they're pretty much prepared when they go.
Yeah, that's a great thing.
So I think a lot of these teams we think, obviously they're not gonna go on a 10, 12 game winning streak. They're gonna lose a game here or two. But I think a lot of these teams where we're like, oh, they're gonna, they might lose this one or that one. They might get those games. They might get a game against the Suns. I know it sounds, the Suns are real good, but I was even looking at that game. I was like, I feel like we match up good against the Suns.
Yeah, I mean, like you said before. I mean, Tibbs has them prepared. You said it perfectly. Tibbs has them prepared, and that's a card that before we never had. We never had that ace in our pocket, and our coach is very. He has guys prepared for every single game. It seems like there's a game plan for that specific team because Tibbs is one of these film room junkies, man.
Yeah, he's definitely meticulous when it comes to coaching. So, that's a good thing. And then you can't sleep on his staff. I seen Woodson's gone. I was a little worried about that. But you look at his staff. Obviously Bryant and Kenny Payne. A lot of these guys. They're even I forgot the one guy, Breer or whatever, and you got the Asian dude, Yoshimoto or something. But those guys, you research them. Not that I did extensive research, but you look up these guys. They're really into X's and O's, man. They're really into being technical about basketball. So that's a good thing, And it seems like everyone's buying into to practicing, and everybody's buying into watching film.
Yep, for sure.
That's a good thing.
Yo, but I appreciate you calling in, man. I appreciate you calling in. I'm gonna get to the next caller real quick, but definitely, man, I appreciate you.
Yeah, keep it going, man.
Yeah, definitely.
You got a whole Knicks nation, and you know what I mean. I'm sure you check out some of the other shows, but you got your own Knicks, and let everybody know you're out here too. I'll do the same, doing a good job, man.
All right, man. Definitely appreciate you, man. Out of the MIA, right? How's that Miami weather, man? I know you guys are turning up in Florida, man. I see you guys going ham over there.
Yeah, I'm like 2 hours north. Yeah, it's already hot out here, man. You got 80 degrees already, man.
Yeah, you guys say fuck a COVID, right? Man. Forget that. We turning up anyway.
Yeah, it's here in the beach, man. It's wild, but
yeah, we need some of that down here, man. I mean, everything is shut down still, man. It's everything is still kind of in a gray area. It's like it's fake open.
Yeah, it's just a different, it's crazy how you got different states, man. I felt like Florida, we got, what's his name, DeSantis. He's never really having that shutdown thing. I mean, maybe we had 2 or 3 months, but once he got an opportunity to open everything up, it's pretty much what it is, so. Yeah.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, we'll catch up.
Definitely, we'll catch up, man. All right, stay up. All right. Once again, phone lines are open. And once again, things on the docket. The Knicks during crunch time. Should they kind of begin to refer to Alec Burks? We'll also talk about the Eastern Conference landscape after the trade deadline. Do the Knicks have enough to make that playoff push? And we'll also talk about the Andre Drummond signing. Did the Knicks actually fumble that due to the fact that they had the most cap space and they actually could offer Andre Drummond off-rip a contract? So once again, phone lines are open. You guys let me know what you think.
A lot of thoughts on the mind, man. Let's speak, though.
Hey, what's up, man? I just, as a subscriber to the channel, I just wanted to give my thoughts. What you guys were discussing about the current state of the Knicks.
Yes, definitely. Wait, before you get started off, what's your name and where you from?
Well, I'm from Queens.
Oh, definitely. Queens in the house, man. All right, definitely. Yeah, man. We have a few things on the docket here, man. We're gonna talk about the Andre Drummond situation, the Knicks were actually in the driver's seat to sign him. They had the most leverage. And then we're also going to talk about the Eastern Conference landscape after the trade deadline, and also the Knicks during crunch time. Should they begin to refer to guys like Alec, Burks? But it's on you, man. Where you want to start off at?
Well, the first thing is just an observation of the current state of the Knicks. I'm going to talk about the Drummond situation.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that whether we are successful in the playoffs or not, we already had a successful season, being the fact that we have not made any financial obligations or commitments to long-term contracts, but we're still putting out a product that people can cheer for. I think that in itself is a success, because years past, we would probably be over the cap, couldn't really spend money to get a top-tier free agent. This summer, we're going to have money. So I think right now the goal is to just get credibility, build up the Knicks brand so that we have a core in place. Could be Julius, maybe Burks, maybe a couple players that we want to sign long term after the playoffs, depending on how the playoffs go. Once we build that, then we make a run probably for another free agent. And I know a lot of people are talking about Kawhi and the situation with him and his ability not to his situation with the Clippers, where he hasn't really shown maybe he would be in their future. So the Knicks have some cap to work with. They got some money there, so they could probably look to build some credibility in the playoffs with the group of guys that they have, and sell that to probably a top tier free agent such as a Kawhi, maybe a Beal, maybe a Booker, something like that down the road. So I definitely think that Rose has something cooking in his, up his sleeve. He has something that he's working on, and I think a lot of this, how we perform this year, may go into a summer where we're going to make a splash. The Knicks have been waiting for this opportunity for a while, because the Nets have had their opportunity, the Lakers had their opportunity, other teams in the league. Now this is their opportunity to spend some money, get some good talent, wrap some good players around that talent core, and then start building a championship contender. And I think this is something that they can do in the next couple of years. It's not going to be too far off. So I think that's the overall plan. And I think if that's the route we're going to take, then we're looking at New York basketball competing with the likes of the Lakers, the Clippers, the Nets. Quickly, within about a couple of years, we could be at that championship level. So I think whether or not we fail in the playoffs, or I think it's already a successful year in that we've already done what we needed to do. But now we're starting to see some of these things that are playing a little bit above maybe their contracts, like Burks and Julius Randle. We're going to have to make a decision on them long term if we want to secure them with a larger contract. So, this is an observation. I think what Leon Rose is doing is smart. I think it's building for the future, and I think that this is something that may lead into a big summer where we see probably a big free agent coming, as well as we sign a couple key players that we're going to pick from this year that were big. And I think that Burks may be on that list. Randall's definitely on that list. There may be some players that will say that these are chips going down that we're going to hang on to for some time.
All right, wait, hold on. Just real quick. I want to go back to what you said. So you believe this summer, because the thing is, the free agency landscape for 2021, it was really good until Giannis signed. Now, once Giannis signed, it was like a domino effect. There was a lot of rookies eligible for their extensions, but their teams were kind of holding off from it. And then once Giannis signed, everyone basically signed their extensions afterward, because teams were waiting on Giannis to make his decision. Now, that made that 2021, free agency list kind of dwindle down to basically right now is basically Kawhi Leonard. And that's it. Like, as far as making that splash. So, I mean, from what you're saying, it sounds like you think that Rose is cooking up a possible pitch to Kawhi.
I think kind of like maybe how you said Drummond was like to the back door with the Lakers. I think Rose may be looking at a potentially big three coming our way. But, I think that, and a lot of it, like I said, we tried this a couple of years ago. It didn't work out with Durant and Kyrie. But the fact that we can show we have a core, we have some chips, we are playoff contending, even with the talent we have. We have a president that's willing to spend as much as Pete Dolan gets. He's willing to sign the checks to bring in top tier talent. We've seen that. But I think that this is one step. First, we got to get into playoffs. We got to show that we can contend. And we don't have to be title contenders because I think we're aspiring to get to that level. But I think that we're on the right path. Financially, we haven't committed too much to contracts that go past this year. So if there is a possibility that a Kawhi opens up, on the market, they can probably get him in. Now, is that to say that that's going to happen? No, because we failed before in the past with top free agents. I'm just saying that we have an option going forward that no matter how it turns out this year in the playoffs, we still can probably sign a top maybe one or two players on top of Randall, that could be like a big three and even put some chips around them and contend within the next 2 years. So, like I said, this year, no matter what we do in the playoffs, it's a win. It's a good season. No matter if we go out early in the playoffs, I'd like to see us go deep in. Even when we do make the playoffs, I'd like to see us at least make it to a second round to show that we're capable of doing that. But like I said, we're not going to be able to get top tier free agents unless we can show that we can win and that we have a culture of winning back in New York City, and they're going to be part of it. So that's like the long-term goal. Going back to Drummond and the situation with Andre Drummond, Drummond's kind of like, if we were at the level of the Lakers, Drummond probably would be a no-brainer. Drummond would want to probably come here, if we were at that level. So our goal is to get to that level where we are a chip or two away from a championship. If we could get to that level, then it's going to be an easier sell to get people to come back here. New York's a good place to play. It's a great place to play. It's a Mecca. There's going to be no problem getting talent to come to New York City once we could show the league that we're a legit contender. And this is not because we're just throwing money at one player like we did with Hello and hope that, things fall the right way. So,
I agree. I agree with what you're saying. And also, I think it's not even like contending. It's more towards like a direction, like showing that there's an actual chain of command. Because the thing with the Knicks in the past is that under Steve Mills, there was never a direction. It was always, sort of, they were throwing money around. Nobody really knew where were, if the team was even competitive or not. I mean, even the miscommunication between Mills and Dolan, Mills telling Dolan the team was good enough when it really wasn't. There was a miscommunication between them up there. Can you imagine between the coach and the executives, or the coach and the players? Like, everything was off. There was no structure.
Yeah. The top priority last summer, and this was coming from Rose staff. Their top priority was to trade Julius Randle. Okay, that was a priority. That was a priority. That was one of the things that they wanted to do during the summer. They could not do it because they could not find a trade. So they came in the season with, okay, well, let him play, let him be the guy, and look what happened. He became an all-star. So that was I don't think it was in their decision to have Randall. I think it was kind of like.
Wait, I agree with you right there, but wait, hold on a second. I agree with you right there. But also, it seems like because they weren't able to get rid of Randall, they definitely started investing in Randall right after that, because that's why they made that Kenny Payne hiring. And then Randall, when he was asked about it, Randall said that they asked him what he needed to get to another level. And that's when the Kenny Payne hiring happened. And sort of the, it's kind of a mixture of perfect timing with the COVID situation and just all that time off that they had. It seemed like he was able to break down his game and then rebuild it, and then also get the kind of infrastructure of Leon Rose coming on board, them getting Kenny Payne. All these things kind of factored in where now, because of the unique timing, it seems like they're investing in Randall, and it's actually paying dividends now. Like, we're seeing the results of it.
They're finally showing, look, we can build a winning culture in New York. We can be a place where players can come and thrive, not just because they're throwing a lot of money at a player and saying, okay, let's win. So it's become a situation like, we could make you come here, we'll give you we'll stay with you, and we will work with you to get to where you want to get to. And I think that as an organization, too many times in the years past, as being a Knicks fan, like seeing the Melo years and seeing Stephon years, but it was always like we get one guy, we put all our eggs in one basket, we surround maybe like one player or two, and then hope that we're going to make a championship run. And I think that we got to build a foundation. I think what they're doing is by not committing to the long-term contract, we're trying to build something, but we still have our one foot that if we do want to make a mega splash in the summertime, perhaps a Kawhi gets out there and another top-tier free agent wants to come with them, they can probably do that. You know what I mean? Because
for sure.
They still haven't committed too much. They got like about $7 million in salary for the summer by holding off on any big deal. So
I think they got 15. They got 15.
They're going to be in contention for a big trade.
Nah, I believe they got about 15 or 14. I think that's why I say the Drummond situation, only because Mitchell Robinson got injured last night, would have been to our advantage, but. It's still early. We're gonna find out probably this coming week, like how hard the Knicks were actually trying to go after him. But I
hope Mitch is good. I hope Mitch is good for at least it can get back at least by the playoffs. But let's see what happens.
Is there an update on his foot right now? Did they update it today?
It's gonna come. I don't know if they released. I haven't seen anything on the net or anything on the website, so I'm gonna keep checking. I hope Mitch. He's a young kid. Hopefully, he can get back on the court before the playoffs. But right now, they got to worry about winning some games. I mean, we got some tough teams coming up, and I think that whether it's Noel, whether it's Taj, whoever's playing the five, we're going to need all the help we can get.
Yeah, and
that means to.
Oh, my bad.
Find somebody in the G League, go for it.
Yeah, but right now it's perfect because we're about to see Tibbs how he's going to manage this lineup with Mitch being out, because not only he has to manage probably moving Randall around center. And then trying to mix in Taj Gibson for like at least 20 minutes. He's also going to have to manage that guard situation, because now all of a sudden Alec Burks, his stock is up. He's performing a lot better. But he still have to find minutes for quickly to get going as a young guy. And also Derrick Rose is now back in the lineup. So it's like, and then of course we got to give at least 35 to 40 minutes to RJ at that shooting guard position. So, and then he keeps for some reason sprinkling Alfred Payton in there. It seems like Alfred Payton does something that he likes. I guess he manages the game a certain way. It's something that he does that Tibbs likes that the rest of the Knicks fans don't, but he keeps sprinkling him in there. So
he doesn't finish the game.
Yeah.
He starts the games, but he don't finish the game.
Yeah, but that guard situation is really mixy as fuck right now. So it's really going to be tough to manage all those minutes. So Tibbs is not only managing the minutes in the front end of the court, and also the back end, the more 4-5 position. It's going to be very interesting the next couple of weeks to see how he's finessing through all this, because it's a lot of shit he's gonna have to juggle.
Yeah, but you know what? He's gotta say this is a good dilemma because we have a good talent pool. He's gonna know by the playoffs what's his starting lineup gonna be. He's gonna have to have his alphas ready. He knows Rose is there because Rose is the former MVP. Rose has been there. Rose knows what, Rose is a dog. He's gonna go out there. He's gonna give you Derrick Rose performance. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The question I have is that what's your plan B? Derrick Rose had a history with knee problems. If he gets injured, who's your other string point guard? Is it Quickly? Who's going to be that number two? Can you count on Alfred Payton to be that scorer? The guy doesn't score. He can play defense. He does not score, and that's going to be a big problem if they want to make a splash in the playoffs. You got to have a scoring point guard.
Especially when teams play zone defense like last night.
Mm-hmm.
That zone defense was killing us, man, because of the shooting. Our shooting was not good.
Mm-hmm. And you'll see that in the playoffs when that happens. They're going to know that they're going to force us to shoot. And if they see we can't shoot, then teams are going to continue to play zone. So, they're going to have to figure it out. I mean, he's going to have to put his top 5 scoring players and hope they play enough defense to get them contending, have a decent bench to get them through quickly, because if you have Rose starting, you're going to have somebody going back to the bench. He's going to have to figure out. I'm not a big fan of Reggie Bullock. I like what Alec Burks has been showing. I'd like to keep Alec Burks in the starting lineup, but you need his scoring, I guess, in the second unit.
Mm-hmm.
These are good dilemmas. We haven't had these dilemmas in years. We got players now. We just got to work, put this together so that by the time we do get to the playoffs, that we'll be maximizing their talent. win games, and that's what it's gonna that's what's gonna come down. That's why they pay him the big bucks.
No, yeah, it is a good dilemma to have some of the depth, especially at guard, because we even seen guys like Austin Rivers. We had to get rid of him. We weren't using him like that. But right now, yeah, that front court is still crowded. Alec Burks, yeah, the past couple of games he's been playing really good. So I mean, even in clutch situations, would you like to see him starting to have a larger role in that situation? Because he's not scared. He's not scared of the big moments.
The moment, or you hot,
Yeah, but like, okay, for example, in the Philly game when we went to overtime, Alec Burks was really holding us down in that overtime. Like he had that tough layup. He was taking 3-point shots. He was the reason why we were in that game. He was doing all the offensive scoring. So I mean,
Burks can get his own shot.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He's Alec Burks, wherever he's been, and this is just by looking at blogs and boards. Even in Philly, when he left, Sixers fans were angry. They liked Alec Burks. They liked what he brought to the table. When he was in the Warriors, he was, he would get his own shot. He would make it easier for the other players. He's more of a scoring guard than he is a point guard. He's been told to take on the point role, but he's looking like a piece that we could keep going forward. They should extend him. During the summer, he is going to be a vital part going forward. He is a baller, man. He can play, and he looks like he's showing signs of getting better as a player. So that's what you want to look for. Guys that are already good, but they're becoming better players. We saw that with Tyson Chandler in his career. He wasn't as good early on. He got much better later in his career. Players have done that, and when you got to capitalize, you got to sign them when that happens. So I think a no-brainer is to sign, lock Burks up, get him signed for a longer-term deal. There's some other players on the team right now that probably are not going to be on the plans going forward, but that he's a keeper, and I think that Burks, like I said, the question mark with Burks is, do you put him in the first unit? If you see that he's going to be a consistent scorer, you see that you're going to need him at the end of games to close games to help Randall. But then you got RJ. RJ is supposed to, your thing is also RJ is in a situation where he's like the number two, and Burks, and Bullock and all the other, they're kind of like in the other tier. So right now the top two guys have been Randall and RJ. So Burks is that number three. He's coming off the bench now. But at what point if RJ is not giving you the production, does Burks become that number two?
No, I'm not saying necessarily.
Question right there.
Yeah, but I'm not necessarily saying that. I'm talking about like more like, let's say, because I've noticed in crunch time, because you could look at the back-to-back games that the Knicks had against the Miami Heat when it came down to closing the game. It seems like it seems like RJ and Julius Randle haven't had enough reps as far as closing the games. So I'm just wondering if Tibbs sometimes can maybe have, draw like a couple of screenplays where Alec Burks, if need be, they can, at least go into the lane and try to make a pass out to Burks, and Burks should be open. Like, the Knicks should sort of present a different option, because in crunch moments, sometimes I ask myself, what are the Knicks' identity? Who are they really going to? Because even that shot that Julius Randle hit against Philly to tie the game to go into overtime, it was a little bit shaky. Like, it looked shaky because it was like Randle one-on-one, and then even his step back, he was very close out of bounds. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't really a play that was drawn up. But if Tibbs can draw up a play where guys are, drawing like Stephen Curry screens to get Alex Burks open, where Randle can make that initial pass like that. That's what I'm saying. Like, should they kind of incorporate him into that moment, to that clutch moment right now?
As good as Randle is, we used to do that with Melo. Melo was the primary going down the stretch when we had him. He was like going to be the guy, even though he's going to get the ball in his hand, and hopefully good things happen. We're going to need at least a good, a reliable plan B, plan C when that happens. And like I said, the floor spacing, the way that we come together at the end of games. I haven't seen, this year they're making better decisions than in years past down the stretch. That's why I think we've been winning some more games. The decision making has been better. We're still making a lot of boneheaded plays, and I think that Tibbs is working on it. Tibbs' coaching has got them more disciplined, I think, at least on the defensive end. We see lapses, but not as nearly as much like we had under Fizdale. These guys are playing harder. They do make a lot of mistakes, and the thing is that he's holding them accountable to those mistakes, unlike years past. So like I said, I think overall though you gotta have a clear plan B, plan C going down the stretch. So if Randall's blocked or he's, they kind of nullified him, RJ's got to have his thing. If not, Burks there's got to be another. You got to, if it's just one play going down the stretch, okay, Randall's getting it, then teams are going to start, drawing up plays just to block us out. We won't win. So
yeah, and it was so far it's been exactly that. So far it's looking like it's been exactly that, where it's ISO Randall, ISO RJ. And I'm just like, yo, they gotta. I'm not sure if these guys had enough reps to being that main. Even Julius Randle, even though he's been in the league for a minute, that was his problem last season, where he said he wasn't used to being like the A guy. He had the ball in his hands a lot. He struggled with turnovers. I think he was one of the leading guys in the league with turnovers. Have these guys had enough reps to be that crunch time guy? You know what I'm saying? Like, or should Tibbs begin to draw up plays? Because so far it's been looking like it's some ISO shit, and it's against good defensive teams. They're gonna pick that shit up.
Let's see what happens. Like I said, when it comes down to, we're gonna make the playoffs this year. What happens in the playoffs is gonna be telling. Tibbs has got to make it so that we got legit options. It can't be just one player, doing ISO. That's it. That ain't not going to cut it, especially in the playoffs. So we got to figure that out. I have a feeling that hopefully by then we'll have it figured out in terms of, different options we have at the end of games. Don't make it so repetitive that we know, okay, RJ's going to get an ISO, Randall's going to get an ISO. And you do that, teams are just going to plan for that, and we're not going to win. We're going to lose. So, like I said, this is why Tibbs makes the big bucks. I have a feeling though that the team is getting better down the stretch. That's the thing. They're making better decisions down the stretch, and I think that's why we'll see the Knicks win some more games. We're going up against tough teams, in the second half. We got to play smart. We got to play tough defense. I know we may not be the most talented or have more talent than some of these teams, but the bottom line is that we got to play strong defense. Our backbone is defense. Without the defense, we don't have enough offense to sustain wins.
Yeah, and we can't be losing to these easy ass teams. Like sometimes we against Orlando or against the Sacramento Kings, we can't be losing those type of games.
Can't lose them. The defense has got to be the backbone of this team. And, if we struggle to score on certain nights, at least we're being competitive because we know that we can hold the team down below 100 points. If we could do that, then our chances are good to win a game. And even though, like I said, he's an old school coach, Tibbs knows what he's doing. He brings that hard Pat Riley, strength on defense type mentality. We're going to play a team tomorrow in the Miami Heat that plays like us. They have that pedigree of tight defense. And so when
I can't wait for that.
It's going to be. I have a feeling it's going to be a good game because the fact you have two teams that are going to grind it out for a win. The Knicks are going to grind it out for a win. The Heat are going to grind it out for. So tomorrow it's going to go down to the wire. May go to an overtime, but guarantee that that's the type of team basketball that we need to play if we're going to be legit contenders going forward. Now, does it help to have a Kawhi or some big three? Obviously. If you're gonna bring in a huge scorer like a Devin Booker, Bradley Beal or something like, then obviously that will help. But right now, the only thing we have to rely on is solid defense to keep us in the games, and hope that we have enough offensively to cover to cover the other end. So, but like I said, I'm happy as a Knicks fan. I'm watching the games. Last year, years past, I'd look at a game and say, yeah, we're not going to win this. Now I know that if we play even a good team, because the fact that we're playing tight defense, we have an opportunity to win.
And we have Tibbs
every night, no matter who we play.
And we have Tibbs, man. Tibbs gets them ready, but
absolutely. And Tibbs we trust. And like I said, he should be coach of the year. That's my pick for coach of the year. Other people have been saying other coaches, but I say Tibbs is definitely up there, man, for coach of the year because he's getting these guys to play defense. It's an identity that we did not have, and he brought it to this team. So
yeah, and
shout out to him.
And going back to what you were saying with the tough schedule ahead of us, because we got the Lakers twice, we already played the Bucks a few times, the Clippers, the 76ers. I mean, right now, we're looking at post trade deadline. Some of the teams in the Eastern Conference, man, they switched up. We've seen the Chicago Bulls actually for once act like a large market team and go after a free agent instead of drafting a bunch of lottery guys, in every single position and still be confused. We see, the Toronto Raptors actually come down. You know, they didn't really utilize trading away Kyle Lowry. You know, and then we seen the Boston Celtics, surprising, they're 7th place right now. They actually didn't do anything at the deadline, and they also let go of their center, and they're relying on Tristan Kardashian. So that's the issue with them right now. And then the Miami Heat, they're, you know, like you said, the Heat are on the come up. They got Ariza, they got Victor Oladipo. So do you think after the trade deadline, do we have enough to make that playoff push due to the fact that there's been some slight changes in the Eastern Conference landscape?
My take is that probably we're going to fall through that 7 to 10 for that play-in. I think we'll beat that team. We'll get in kind of through the back door. I don't see us being in the top 6 at the end of the year. I think that we'll probably have to, get that one playoff and then playoff game and come into the playoffs. But I think that we, like I said, as long as the defense is grinding it out, you could, like I said, you saw it with the Miami Heat last year with the Lakers. Nobody predicted the Heat to do what they did, but their defense was up. Yet they had, they had some good players in Hero and you have another shooter over there.
Duncan Robinson.
Duncan Robinson. So you have just enough chips to win those games, but they also rely on that heavy Pat Riley defense. So, that's the thing that we're going to have to rely on, because you know what, if we're going to go and think we're going to go to Golden State and then shut them out through 140 points or beat the Lakers by 140, it's not going to happen, So we got to rely on the defense. No matter if we play the Lakers or the Clippers or, any team in the league, we're going to have to rely on their defense and hope that hope that we could play enough defense to keep us in the games. Now, we don't have the offense yet to do it.
Yeah, definitely not. And I think that, like you said before, the zone is going to be a major. I mean, we seen it last night. It's going to be a major, major problem, because we're definitely going to have Quickly on the floor a lot more for that zone. Guys like Quickly and Alec Burks and even Bullock, man, because these guys can shoot. Maybe play a small ball lineup, because that zone defense right now, unless RJ improves on his 3-point shooting, it's hurting us. RJ, for some reason, down the clutch, RJ, he'll make his 3-point shots then. He's a really good down the stretch player, but
he'll be more of a clutch guy. He's not going to be like a get hot guy like Burks. He'll get you a bucket at the end of the game, and try to last 2 minutes. But we're going to need the guy that I think that will be a huge boost for us if he does decide to play a little bit better. That's Kevin Knox. If he can be a little bit better, or Obi Toppin. I mean, what you're going to get from Obi is one thing, but Kevin Knox, we've seen him shoot. We wanted him to shoot. This is his last hurrah, maybe. I don't know, to show that he can play. If he can show that he can knock down a shot, that would be a huge benefit to us going down the stretch, because we're going to need shooting. Like you said, these zone defenses are going to keep coming. And if you can't have enough shooters out there. So if Kevin Knox has a good second half, so will the Knicks.
Knox last night, Knox was actually hurting the Bucks zone defense when he did come in the game. He was hurting them for a little bit.
That. Yep.
Yeah, but I mean,
I hope it comes through.
Yeah, that's another thing about Knox. I'm just wondering, has the Kenny Payne stimulus package actually worked on Kevin Knox? It's worked for Julius Randle, but
time will tell. But I like what I'm seeing with Kevin. I mean, they're moving him around. He's doing, like you said, he's probably getting some more minutes over Obi right now. He's trying to show the coach maybe I deserve to be in this league. I deserve to get some minutes, and I think that we may see that Kevin Knox. We've been hoping for that Kevin Knox at least in the last 2 years. At least the last 2 years. But I think if he can show that he can shoot and be a threat, then zone defenses, they'll have to back off. So I think that you'll start to see that you have another shooter. You already know Burks can put the ball in the hole. Bullock can get the ball in the hole. So, so we have shooters. You add another shooter, then defenses are going to have to change and adjust because of that. We have guys that can get to the rim, in terms of breaking down the defense, but shooters, like I said, that's why you saw Fourier go to the Boston Celtics. You saw, some shooters out there. Trent, the guy from Toronto, guys that can shoot the ball are commodities because of the fact that, defenses will adjust if you can't shoot. If we can't shoot, we're not going to go anywhere. So we got to be able to to adjust.
Yeah,
Anyway, bro, I gotta go. I want to say thank you.
definitely. I appreciate you calling.
I appreciate the podcast and have a good night. Go
Definitely, man. Stay up, man. Check the emails, man, for future shows, man.
I will.
Definitely. Stay safe. All right, phone lines are still open. Once again, you guys, there's a few things on the docket. Give me a call. Let me know what you think, and drop your 2 cents.
A lot of thoughts on the mind, man. Let's speak, though.
Once again, phone lines are open. There's a few topics on the dockets. We're going to talk about the Andre Drummond signing, the Knicks, what exactly is their identity in crunch moments, and also the Eastern Conference landscape post-trade deadline. And also, I want to also touch base on the channel and some of the videos that are in the playlist. If you guys check it out on the channel page, you'll see playlists of other shows that I also do pertaining to things around the league. And also there's a NBA Moments Pivoted series where we take a look back at some of the inner nuances that went on from teams of the past. I did a look back on the early 90s Knicks. I also did the Shaq and Kobe sit down. We went over some of the nuances, some of the in-between things that they don't really mention in the doc. You guys definitely check that out. That series is called NBA Moments Pivoted, and everything is sort of organized under a playlist under the channel page. So definitely check that out. All right, this will be the end of the show. Once again, you guys check out the playlist on the channel. You'll see links to other shows. NBA Moments Pivoted, that's a series where we take a look back at some of the previous NBA teams and players, and we'll go over some of the inner nuances. We got the Shaq and Kobe sit down. We got the 90s Knicks. So definitely check it out. There's also a playlist link to some of the videos I do pertaining to current situations and nuances that are going on around the NBA other than the Knicks. So definitely check out those videos. Everything will be on the channel under the playlist. So definitely check it out. And once again, you guys also check out the community Discord. You can get notifications also that way about when are we going live, call-in shows, and also new videos. And definitely sign up for the email list. That way you guys can get notifications on when we go live, because sometimes it does not come through the YouTube platform. So until next time, you guys stay safe in these Rona streets. Peace.